What is going on, Team Prime? I'm back with another video, and today we're going to be covering the Takara images of the War for Cybertron Siege line, because Takara has officially revealed their versions of the Siege line, a couple of the figures anyway, which involve Road Handler and Swindler, Micromasters, Battle Masters, Lionizer, and Firebolt, Deluxe, Sideswipe, and Cog, Voyager Optimus Prime, and Leader Ultra Magnus. Takara has not shown off anything else right now for their version of the Siege line, which is unfortunate, but let's get into the differences. Okay, I had to cut right there real quick. I wanted to cover something before the figures. Now, I'm extremely excited for these figures because they are more accurate than anything we have gotten in recent years for decent prices. If you want a super accurate G1 Optimus Prime figure, you've got the Masterpiece one, which is now $160. So if you don't want to spend your money on something like this, which is the Combiner Wars Prime, then Siege is right in your hands. If you want to buy Masterpiece, go buy Masterpiece. I personally want to, but I can't. It's too expensive. So I'm doing the Generations collection. But this is something, like, this has been getting at me for a while. Certain people get complained at all the time because of how their preferred versions of figures. I didn't see a lot of people buying Combiner the Prime Wars Blastoff figure because they've already got their Bruticus. Either they've bought the Hasbro one or just settled with the Takara one if they want Shuttle Blastoff. But Hasbro made Shuttle Blastoff, and they made Groove, even though this is just the Takara version of Groove. Like, they listened to us for that. And I'm happy that they did. Anyway, let's get into Siege, shall we? Okay, so here is Road Handler, and there is virtually no difference between him and the Hasbro one. He looks really nice, though, in his robot mode. He has no paint on his eyes, though. That's a little, disturbing. But otherwise, he looks pretty good. Now let's go to his car mode. So here is the car mode of Road Handler, and this looks pretty good as well. He looks like Wind Charger in this ult mode. No paint on the headlights, and he's got a giant black bar sticking out of the middle of the hood. But he looks okay. Not great, but he looks okay. Now let's go on to Swindler. Okay, so here is Swindler in his robot mode, and again, he looks pretty good. He's got giant shoulder bits sticking off the top of him. He looks good. I like the visor, but yeah, he looks okay. So here is Swindler in his DeLorean-based ult mode. It looks okay. It's gray plastic painted with some black painted windows. I mean, it's okay looking. It's not the best thing. Let's get into the Battle Masters. That's where the action is. Get it? Action. Battle Masters. So here is the first Battle Master, Fire Drive, aka Firebolt. Now, again, there's no differences between the Hasbro one or the Takara one. He has less articulation compared to his Legends release, but he still looks really good with the red visor, the dark maroonish kind of mouth and chest piece part. But he looks really good. So let's move into his blaster mode. So here is his blaster mode, and it looks like a robot folded with his legs folded backwards and a gun barrel sticking up out of the back of his head. But it looks pretty good nonetheless. You get the blast effect sitting on the barrel of the gun. It still looks really good. I cannot wait to put this in Hot Rod's hands. So now let's get into Lionizer. So here is Lionizer in his beast mode, and nothing different from his Hasbro counterpart, except for maybe the gray right up here on the gun in beast mode. But he looks good. I don't like the gray head. personally. I would have preferred his head a more dark, like maybe the color of the blade. Who knows? But he looks great in his beast mode. I really love the gun sitting on the back, though. That looks really awesome. And here is the sword mode, and this is a clunky sword. Like, it's got a lot of kibble around the hilt, but it looks pretty good. You got the blue slash effect attached to the weapon, but again, it looks really good. This is probably the better looking sword weapon, or one of the better sword looking weapons that we've gotten out of the recent toy lines. So now let's move on to Deluxe Class Cog. So here is Deluxe Class Autobot Cog, and he looks great. I love how this guy looks. You've got the chest piece completely done in silver and blue paint. Like, look at all that silver. His rims are painted blue, from what I can see at this angle. He just looks great. Now, he has two handheld blasters, which means he can have weapons, or he can separate into his other components and combine with other figures. So let's show you guys that. So here he is attached to the Deluxe Autobot Sideswipe, and yeah, the play pattern with the weaponizer figures looks to be an interesting gimmick. And like, you got the chest sitting up here on the arm, the legs sitting on the bottom of the feet, and all that fun stuff. But yeah, this looks really, really good. Now let's get into Cog's alt mode. Well, one of his 3 alt modes anyway. So let's get to that. So here is Cog's one of his 3 alt modes, which is just him lying down with guns attached to him. This looks pretty good. You can split him from the waist up, and he can be 2 separate weapon mount systems, which looks pretty cool. I'm excited for this guy. I cannot wait to pick him up. So now, let's move on to Autobot Sideswipe. Let's get to it. So, here is Sideswipe, and oh, yes. This is how you do a deluxe Sideswipe. You've got everything right. They've even got his, gun, or shoulder gun attached to him. He's got the battle damage on his shins and on his feet, because they wanted, Hasbro and Takara wanted to keep it true to Sideswipe. He would want to keep his alt mode and his robot mode, or his alt mode more clean, so that's why his robot mode is kind of dirty. But otherwise, Sideswipe looks amazing. Now let's go to his Space Lamborghini mode. And here is that alt mode, and oh, I love this. This looks really good. You got the silver rims, which I knew they were going to do silver rims, but his entire alt mode looks nice. You've got, like, exhaust ports up here at the top, or exhausts at the top of the car, a giant black windshield. He just looks amazing in this alt mode. Now let's get to Voyager Optimus Prime. And here is Voyager Optimus Prime, and this is the best figure of the wave. Prime looks amazing. The battle damage details are in his elbows, his shoulder pads, his chest piece, his thighs, and where else did I see the battle damage? But yeah, Prime looks amazing. I absolutely love how this figure looks. This is probably the best Voyager Optimus Prime we will ever get. Now, Hasbro and Takara could remold this into his Earth truck. So please do this later. Hasbro, come on. Let's get to the truck mode. And it's the same thing with the truck. I love how this truck mode turned out. Yeah, you've got the giant headlights, the truck lights, and the Gatling gun bumper, but this thing looks amazing. I love how this truck turned out. It just looks awesome. Now, apparently, his tires can fold away to become hover wheels or something. That's cool. Now, let's get to Ultra Magnus. Starting off with Ultra Magnus in his Voyager robot mode. This looks awesome. I love how this Ultra Magnus looks. You've got the battle damage on his thighs, but this thing just looks amazing. He's got a better head sculpt than the Voyager Optimus Prime. He comes with a giant red gun. This looks awesome. Now, his crotch is on a rotating joint because when he goes to combine with his armor, his crotch flips over because he's the main body of the other Ultra Magnus. So, yeah. Now let's get to his first truck mode. And here is the first truck mode. And it looks okay. It's like Power of the Prime's Orion. He's kind of just folded up and you can see his arms right there and his feet are sticking up, but it looks really good. I love how damaged the front end of his bumper looks. I just love how that looks. Now let's get to regular Magnus. So here is armored up Ultra Magnus, and I love this figure. I do not like how hollow his shoulder pylons are, but I'm betting somebody on Shapeways will make parts for that. But he looks amazing in this armored up mode. He looks like G1 Ultra Magnus, and I love this thing. I cannot wait to pick him up. Now let's get to the truck mode. Finally, here is the combined trailer and truck and trailer for Ultra Magnus, and he looks even better with the trailer because it makes him look like a big figure, which he is. Because according to what TF Wiki on Facebook said, or on Twitter said, this is going to be a 10-inch truck and trailer. 10 inches long. That is going to be a big truck and trailer figure. But Ultra Magnus looks amazing. I cannot wait to pick him up. So, that is all the figures from Takara's reveal for the Siege line. I'm excited for every single one of these figures to come out. Now, when Takara reveals Hound, Flywheels, Shockwave, Megatron, and the other figures from Wave 1, I will be covering that when they come out. But stay tuned for New York Comic Con, which is next month, 3 weeks from now. We will be seeing Megatron, Shockwave, Flywheels, and the Airstrike Patrol. So I thank you guys for watching this video. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all later. Peace out.